I'm Kay, and I am here with another Mixed Media Mayhem recipe for you guys today, and I am mixing this with Woodgrain and Winter. And I realized that I don't have a single stencil that has a snowflake on it. So first thing I did was I took this really cool border punch by Creative Memories, and I punched out a tree border, and then I went to my Cricut and I made myself a paper stencil. Now this is probably a one-time use only stencil, but I am able to take the negatives and use them on a page, which I think I did yesterday. I have this really cool green film strip from the Christmas Spectacular film strip set. I have two photos of a close-up of the train that was chosen to be the Polar Express for 2021. I have this transit ticket that came from the Ticket to Die Cut pack. A couple of these trees that came from I want to say the general laser cut pack, but I don't really know if they all came in one or if they came in from two different ones. I have the memorable chipboard piece as well as a couple other little black pieces. Now, monochromatic is one of the bits of the recipe, so one of the ingredients of the recipe. So we've got texture paste, stencil, and a monochromatic. So for my monochromatic, I decided to use black as my neutral color and then green as my mono color. So it's going to be green and black, but I didn't have a black wood grain that I haven't already used. So I chose this really dark brown that could be close to wood grain. For my texture paste, I'm going to use this Nuvo Glacier paste in Winter White, and then my gloss spray in white from Dina Wakley. And I pulled out the stickles and decided that I wasn't going to use the stickles at all. So that is not going to be there. And then this wood grain is from Close to My Heart. It was from that 2020 wood grain pack. So I don't think it is available anymore. I think it sold out very, very fast because who doesn't love a good variation of wood grain? Now I pulled out these color wash rub-ons thinking I was going to use this one, but it's got the red in it. So I'm not really sure if that would work in my monochromatic, what I'm trying to do for being monochromatic. So spoiler alert, it does not happen. It doesn't make it into the layout because of the red that I would be adding to the layout. And I do like how this one turns out being monochromatic. All right, so I have I think it's a glue stick? It's a glue stick, and it is a temporary glue stick. So I rub it on, I wait for it to dry, and then it's tacky, kind of like the pixie spray, but with less mess. And all I'm doing is rubbing it in where the snowflakes are most vulnerable. So inside the little bits of the snowflake, because I don't want to accidentally rip one off. Or I've never used a paper stencil before, you guys. So I definitely wanted to make sure that it was going to stay on my paper, but not rip my paper when I pull it back off when I go through with my texture paste. So I'm just going to go through very, very lightly and add the little texture paste here and there. Well, actually, no, all over this stencil from top to bottom. And I made my design to where I didn't have to move the paper because I knew this was going to be just a one and done stencil. I knew that it was not going to live its life very long, and I'm glad that I got two uses out of it, being a stencil, and then I got to use all these negative pieces. But I'm wishing that I would have used actual stencil material so I could keep it. But I didn't know that I had no clue I didn't have any snowflake stencils whatsoever. I still don't. So I'm going to use my little tool to try and scrape away where it bled through just a little bit. I was a little heavy-handed in a certain spot, and so I just cleaned it up a little bit. And far away, it looks fine. Close up, it's a hot mess, and I end up covering it up. I bring my whole cluster up a little bit to cover it up. So I'm going to trim my photos down so that way I can get them all to fit on that black wordy base piece that came in the die cut pack. So I wanted to make sure that they all got that they all fit on there. So I think I cut them down to 3x4 on all of them. And then I'm going to use this packaging as a photo mat behind, and then I will put them on top of the wordy base piece that came in the collection, or the die cut pack. So these are just close-ups. They just pulled this train out of the train house, and they had it parked for quite a while. I'm not really sure exactly what they were doing, what they were testing, but they let it sit outside and run for a little bit. So they just barely pulled it out to where they were clearing. So I don't know if they were closing the door to the train house, so that way the rest of the trains don't get cold. So I took the opportunity to snap a couple photos and then get a close-up of the sign that they use on each train that is chosen to be the Polar Express train. Like I said, they changed the number on the train to where it reads 1225 instead of the number that it actually is, which I think is pretty cool, that they number every single one of the trains, and as soon as that train gets a number, it's just fabulous to me that when the train gets a number, all of a sudden it lives, like it's alive, and everybody talks about it like, he and she and all that good stuff. And I just think that's, I don't know, it just warms me up. It really does. Especially Nevada's staple train, which is number 40. It's, I can't even, I have no words. But yeah, it just all of a sudden makes the train real once they are numbered. Now, this train has actually gone through 3 different numbers because it worked at 3 different rail yards. It used to be red at one point in its history when it worked for, I think it's called South Pacific. And so it has had 3 different numbers. And the second time it changed its numbers is when it got an undercarriage upgrade. And so it went from a I think it was a D60 model to a D60E model. And so once it changed models, then they changed the numbers. And then, of course, once it started working for the Nevada Railroad, it became number 204. So yeah, the train has some history, and it's just really cool just that it's, being like that. All right. So to add to my snowflakes after they have dried, I decided to put a little bit of sprinkling of my Dina Wakley white gloss spray. And, I just really wanted to have more sparkle, but I didn't want to have more sparkle. Like, I didn't want it to be glittery, like the glitter paste would have given me, the Stickles glitter paste, but I wanted more snow. I wanted more of the flakes, but I didn't want a lot of, I didn't want giant flakes. And the little splattering of white just was absolutely perfect for that. So I love that. And then I didn't realize that my texture paste wasn't dry all the way, so I smudged it, trying to fix it. Because of course, that's travesty. Oh my gosh. But it wasn't too much damage. I just didn't realize that it wasn't dry all the way on that one. And then I decided not to use the trees because they just got covered up anyways with the larger trees. And then, like I said, that rub-on I decided not to use because it brought red into my layout. So this is the layout that I did for my monochromatic. It's as monochromatic as I get, to be honest. I love how the wood actually matches the branches in my tree die cuts. So I think that it pulls together nicely. I think it can be as a monochromatic. Now, my train is yellow and blue. I definitely probably could have made them black and white photos to go true monochromatic, but I don't like black and white photos. I want to see the colorings and stuff like that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out the 2 links. Actually, I have 3 links down below. 2 links are for Mixed Media Mayhem. One is for the Facebook group, in case you guys aren't members of our Facebook group. And you guys can go and check out all the recipes in the past and how other designers or other content creators have used the recipes or inspiration layouts to create their own layouts. And then if you are a member of the Facebook group, the link down below is for the album for just today. So that way, if you want to just go and look at what everyone is doing today, now give in mind it's different time zones throughout the day. So it will fill up throughout the day and maybe even into tomorrow, because some people, like myself, forget to put it in the album. And then, of course, the third link down below is the playlist for Woodgrain and Winter that we have. And I am so enjoying. I finally got caught up on all the videos, and I am just enjoying watching everybody create with Winter and Woodgrain. It is such lovely layouts so far. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly appreciate it, and I will check you all later. Bye.